Daniel has driven this exact city grid for 15 years. Tonight is another exhausting, heavy rain night shift where muscle memory takes over completely. The dashboard clock reads 2:13 a.m. His shift is effectively over, but he decides to pick up one final fare before heading home. The man waiting on the curb stands completely motionless. He doesn't flinch at the freezing rain soaking his coat, and he makes absolutely no sound as the taxi pulls up. At 2 in the morning, a 15-year veteran isn't looking for signs of the impossible. He's looking for the end of his shift, and fatigue makes it easy to overlook a passenger who doesn't move or speak. The silent passenger gets into the back seat and offers a single, highly specific instruction: 17 Blackwood Lane. Daniel punches the address into his navigation system, but the hardware fails to map a route. The screen glitches and spits back an error message. A veteran driver knows every shortcut and dead end in his territory. Yet in 15 years, Daniel has never heard of a street called Blackwood Lane. He asks for clarification, but the back seat remains completely silent. The passenger stares straight ahead, refusing to acknowledge the confusion or offer any directions. A GPS error is a common technical failure, but combined with a street that isn't on the map and a passenger who refuses to speak, the predictable routine of the night shift is starting to unravel. This topological map illustrates the trajectory. The route leaves the illuminated downtown grid, pushing into an obsolete industrial perimeter where the map ends. As the taxi moves forward, the city lines dissolve. The path behind is erased, leaving the vehicle isolated in empty space. The environment decays at impossible speed. The asphalt rips open as thick roots and wild vegetation swallow the road directly in front of the headlights. Out of this total darkness, a weathered street sign suddenly materializes on the side of the road: Blackwood Lane. The landscape is no longer a passive backdrop. It is shifting and reconfiguring itself to ensure the vehicle reaches this specific, isolated location. The taxi pulls up to the requested destination. Number 17 is a burned-out shell of a house, its structure long ago reclaimed by the forest. The passenger steps out into the rain. Daniel, clinging to familiar rules, rolls down the window and demands the fare. The moment the man steps out of the headlight beams and turns toward the house, he vanishes. Daniel is left alone in a neighborhood that hasn't seen a living resident in 30 years, calling out to a passenger who disappeared into the dark. Daniel enters the abandoned house. He sweeps his flashlight across rotting floorboards and destroyed furniture, searching for the man who just stepped inside. Among the debris sits an old photograph. The man who rode in the backseat of the taxi is standing right there, posing with a family in front of this very house. His physical appearance in the image is identical to the man Daniel just saw: the dark coat, the pale face, and the same expressionless eyes. Scrawled underneath the image is a single handwritten date: 1987. The geography didn't just change, the timeline did. The driver has intersected with a moment anchored 37 years in the past. Daniel sprints back to the street to escape, but his taxi sits totally empty in the rain, and the rear door is already swinging open for a new arrival. The taxi's internal hardware prints a record of the transaction. Passenger, Thomas Reed. Deceased, 1987. Daniel looks into the rearview mirror. The backseat is physically empty, yet the passenger is now sitting in the reflection, waiting for the drive to begin. The dashboard clock resets to 2:13 a.m. The linear progression of Daniel's life has snapped into a circle, fusing the end of the shift back to its beginning. Daniel is no longer driving towards his home. He has become a permanent part of the house on Blackwood Lane, a driver locked in an infinite loop, ferrying the dead through the rain.